Nice. So children, let me quickly tell you about the flow of the session. So first of all, you'll get to know your mentor. Then you'll see a short informative PPT. Then you'll get a tour of the virtual dashboard that is there. And then it will be followed by a question answer round. If you have any doubt, you can ask. And then the actual demo will start, okay, for which you've been waiting, right? Understood? Okay. All right. Very good, Priyan. Kavya. Both of them have understood. What about the rest? Okay, show me a thumbs up if you are with us. All right, very good. So let me tell you that we have with us Dr. Richa ma'am, and she is a very, very experienced, very seasoned mentor. She's been with us for quite some time now, and teaching is her passion. She loves to interact with kids like you. So I'll not speak more, and I'll directly ask her to introduce herself to you. So all over to you, Richa ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, guys. Hi, my name is Dr. Richa Tawar, and I'm going to be a mentor for the upcoming sessions. So as I could see that you guys have mentioned science is your favorite subject. Now comes the important part. What is Olympiad exam? Like, how is it different from your regular school exam? Why are we focusing so much on Olympiad exam? Are they similar to what we're going to do in our schools, the regular exams that we have in school? What is the difference? Quickly write it in the chat box. It's this way I can find out the fastest finger first. How good are your motor skills? How quickly you can type? You guys have appeared for Olympiad exams earlier, right? Or this is your first time? Anyone gonna appear for the first time? No one? See, the difference between your regular school exam and your Olympiad exam is very simple. In your Olympiad exams, you are preparing for, yes, it is harder than your school exam, Jasleen. And because here we are going to compete with other peers, other students of your same age, but belonging to different parts of the India, different cities, different states. And what we are going to focus on these classes that you're going to attend from now onwards is in two phases. The learning itself is in two phases. The first phase where we're understanding the concept, the fundamentals about the subject. And the second phase is where we are applying these learned concepts on our day-to-day problems. For example, I'll just quickly ask you a question. Which one is faster, a light or a sound? Both of them are, something related to science. When you see an object, there is a light, there is sound. Which one is faster? Shreyan is saying light, Adya is saying light, Kartika is saying light. Yes. Why? Why light is faster than sound? Does it eat more food? Drinks Bonvita daily? Then why? Why is it faster? Anyone? Think. This is what Olympiad is all about. You need to use brains, right? Guys, because light is not dependent on any medium. Whether or not there is any medium, whether or not it is solid or liquid or gas, it doesn't matter to it because it is not dependent on any medium. Sound is dependent on medium. The particles, the molecules which are present in solid, which are present in liquid, which are present in gas, that's what it is dependent on. That is why sound is little slower, not little, quite a lot slower. Light can pass at a speed of 3 lakh kilometers per second, whereas sound will just pass at speed of 343 meters per second, which is a huge difference. So next time you see a lightning in the sky, what will you see first? A thunder? You'll hear the thunder first or a flash of light first? Flash of light, right? And you know the reason now. Why? Because it is not dependent on any medium. So we'll talk about more such topics and lots of other details once we'll start the class. For now, let's hand over the stage to Dr. Monica, ma'am. She's going to take you for the tour, or Rajan sir?
Thank you so much, ma'am. So children, allow me to share my screen for the PPT. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes.
Okay. So a very warm welcome to each one of you to the demo and interaction program for class 4 science batch 3. As you already are aware that Olympiad Success is India's largest online preparation platform for Olympiad exams. Olympiad Success Live is India's first exclusive live classes for Olympiad's preparation, and School Plus by Olympiad Success is one of its own kind of annual program that includes 8 important courses that really matter at this point of time in your life. These 8 courses include mathematics, English, science, logical reasoning, communication, both spoken and written, Vedic math, coding. Now here you can get one-on-one online CBSE, ICSE, IGCSE and IB classes for grades 2 to 12. One-on-one preparation classes for international mathematics Olympiads like SASMO, CMO, HKIMO, TIMO, Math Counts, US Common Core Math Competition, Math Kangaroo and PRMO. So you can meet our international rank holders for the year 2022-23. They are on the screen. And for the year 2021-22. So the classes will be group sessions with the batch size of maximum around 20 students delivered through Zoom by seasoned tutors. You've already met your mentor. You get 3 sessions per week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Timing will be 3:45 p.m. till 5 p.m. So note down the time. And there would be 5 minutes of gap in between the class. So this means that 35 minutes of class with 5 minutes of break in between, and again followed by 35 minutes of class. The sessions would include a mix of theory, practice questions, doubt sessions, and discussion on previous year papers. You also get reading material and practice questions, which will be available on the dashboard of Olympiad Success. You also get access to Olympiad Success platform so that you can practice topic-wise mock test for both science and reasoning as well as logical reasoning. So syllabus is available at this particular link and fees can be paid by clicking on this particular link. Don't worry, all the important and relevant links have been pasted in the chat box and will again be pasted for your benefit. The fees for this course is 8,925 rupees. It is going to be a 40-session course. The fee includes online classes, daily reading notes and exercises, practice of previous year papers and access to Olympiad Success platform for science and logical reasoning. All that you require for these classes is your physical and mental presence. And apart from that, a laptop or a desktop with good internet speed, with camera because we do not allow students without video in the class, and headphones for better audio clarity. So as you are already aware that preparation for our Olympiad exams is slightly tougher than your regular school curriculum. So you need to spend at least 2 hours every day so that you can cope up with the curriculum. And of course, parental support is required at the back end. So in 2022-23, Olympiad Success had students from more than 3,800 schools across India and abroad, hailing from 35 plus countries. Now the live classes for this particular batch begins from Wednesday, 7th June 2023. So I hope details about this course are clear to you. Now I would request Rajan sir to take you through a virtual tour of the dashboard of Olympiad Success. All over to you, sir.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you for the wonderful presentation. Let me share my screen. So I hope students, my screen is visible. So this is the website of Olympiad Success. I'm showing you how you can access the content. Okay. So once you enroll with us, what you need to do, you need to click on my account to check the content. And you need to log in with the credentials. So once you enroll with us, we will provide you the credential, and with that you can log in. Let me log in with my credential for now. Can you share me the email address on WhatsApp, please? No, I'm not getting it actually. I'm not getting well. So this is the student profile, and all the content you will find here in the live classes. What you need to do, you need to select a subject first. So in our case, it is Science Olympiad. Then you need to select a topic. Let me select animals. So for each and every topic, you will find reading material, practice question, and answer key here. Let me show you how it looks like. So this is the reading material we have. Okay, for this particular topic. So for each and every chapter, you will find reading material here. And here are the practice question and answer key. Let me show you practice questions also. So this is a set of practice questions. Okay. So various kind of questions are here. And here you can check the answer. Other than that, you can also check the schedule here, like in which session, which topic we are going to cover. Like in session 1, let me show you. In session 1, we are going to cover plants topic, and in session 2, session 3, and session 4, we will continue with this topic. And in session 5, we will have a test discussion. So after each and every chapter, there will be a mock test. Okay. And we will discuss that mock test in the class. And like Monica ma'am mentioned in her presentation, that we will also discuss previous year Olympiad papers. So at the end of schedule, you can see we have super classes. So in this super classes, what we are going to do, In the super classes, we will discuss all previous year Olympiad questions, science grade 4. Okay. So this is all about this dashboard. Other than that, you will also get the free access for topic wise mock test for science as well as for logical reasoning that you can access here in the worksheets. Okay. So with this course, you can access for logical reasoning also with science. What you need to do, you need to select a subject first. Then these are all the topic wise mock tests. You need to click on take exam to attempt it and just click on start worksheet. So all questions are MCQ based here. You need to choose the correct option, whatever it is. Okay. And then just click on next, then click on finish to submit. And once you submit it, here you can see the result, like how many questions are there. Yeah, so here you can check the result, like how many questions are there, how much time you have taken for attempting this test, your score, total questions attempted, correct answer, wrong answer. Okay. Later on also, if you want to check your performance, you can check here in the performance tab. You just need to select a subject and just click on detailed result view. Okay. So this is all about the dashboard, students. Now, if anyone have any doubt or query, you can write in the chat box. Do anyone have any doubt or query?
Please feel free to ask. Kavya has no doubts.
Okay, Brian is also not having any doubt.
Same
No.
is the case with Jasleen and Kartika.
Okay, then in that case, let me ask some questions to you, students. Can you tell me the days on which you're having the classes? You can write in the chat box. On which days we have the classes? Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Yes, correct. We're having the classes on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And what are the class timings? Okay, 3:45 to 5 p.m. Yes, correct. The class timing is 3:45 to 5 p.m. Okay, students, do anyone have any doubt or query related to the course or anything? Or like, shall we start with the session? No? Okay. Okay, I think in that case, we can start with the session. So over to you, Richa ma'am.
Yes, thank you, Rajan sir, for all the information. Guys, it's gonna come very handy once we start the session, because I have seen students coming up with the problem how to access the dashboard, where to get reading material from. So I hope everything is crystal clear to you. If you still have any doubt, you can feel free to ask Rajan sir. He can still, take up all questions. Everything is clear? Okay, so let's start the session. The topic for today's demo class is gonna be plants. We all have been learning about plants since grade 1, right? Is there anyone who is reading about it or hearing about it for the first time? No one, right? It has been a part of our life. It is an integral part of our life. We all are dependent on plants for so many things. We're going to discuss plants in details from this session onwards. So what we are going to do is we have divided the topic plants into 3 different structures. First, we'll talk about parts of the plants. We'll be discussing the structure of the plant, the functions associated with different structures of the plant, the special processes which take place in different parts of the plant. Next session, we'll talk about adaptations in the plant. What is the need for adaptation? Why do plants grow? What is the impact of climate? How your weather, your climate is affecting the growth of the plant. Then we'll talk about benefits of the plant. Why is it so important? What is it that it is providing to us? What else other than food and oxygen does it give to you? So let's start the session with the structure of the plant, different parts of the plant. Can anyone tell me what are the different parts of the plant, the main 2 parts of the plant? There are so many parts, but we broadly divide plant into 2 main categories. What are those? Write it in the chat box. Very good, Adhya. It is shoot and root. What is shoot? The part of the plant which is generally above the ground and is visible to us is shoot, and part of the plant which is generally below the ground and is not visible to you is root. So did you notice I said the word generally? I did not say always. Why? Because there are exceptions to this case. There are plants where the roots are above the ground And there are plants where the stems grow under the ground. So there is an exception to both the cases. Now I want to give you two terms from here on. Where do roots grow? Under the ground. Why? Why are they growing under the ground? Why are they not growing above the ground? Why is it always necessary that they have to grow towards the ground only? What is it that they're looking for? Are they looking for something? Are they searching for something? What? A treasure, a hidden treasure? Not for the food, Kia. If you remember, if you know, plants are actually more than capable of producing their own food. So it's not food they're looking for. They're looking for minerals and water, right? That's what they need in order to prepare their food. So roots grow under the ground and are going deeper and deeper, first to fix the plant, to anchor the plant to the soil. And second, they're looking for the water. This phenomena where a part of the plant is going towards the ground is called geotropism. You can take down the word. It is very important because now onwards you're going to hear it regularly. Geotropism, Geotropism, positive geotropism. It is shown by roots because that's where they are growing towards the ground. They are showing positive geotropism. Who is showing negative geotropism? The shoots, stems, right out there. Because they're not going towards the ground. They're going above the ground. They are showing negative geotropism. Why do shoots grow above the ground? Why are they growing towards the sunlight? You see, shoots have something on top of them, which is leaves. Leaves need to absorb as much sunlight as possible. Why? Just like how roots are absorbing water for the plants to prepare food, stems, the leaves are also absorbing sunlight for the plants to prepare the food. That is why these stems, which are holding these leaves on top of them, are growing more towards the light. This is called positive phototropism. Photo means light. They're growing towards the light. Which light? Sunlight. So the stems, the shoots show positive phototropism and your roots show positive geotropism. So we'll start with the topic roots first. I said that the part of the plant which is under the ground and is generally not visible to us with our naked eye is root. You must have done this in your previous classes that your roots are mainly of two types, fibrous root and taproot. The taproot is the one which has main central root in the middle, from which multiple lateral roots, these are smaller in size, side roots, lateral means side roots, are coming out. Like in this case, this is typically the real picture of a taproot. This is what it looks like. You can see taproot in case of carrot, radish, rose, peepal, mango. Now, fibrous root is a very interesting one. How many of you have been to park, right? You go to park to play every day and you have grasses in the lawn, right? So if you really want to see what your fibrous root look like, go to the park. Next time you go there, just gently tuck up a tug of grass from the ground. Not too much, just a handful. And what we'll find is a brown entangled mass of thread. It's like all mumble jumble together. That's exactly what your fibrous root looks like. They are multiple roots which are coming from the base of the stem and spreading out laterally like this, like a mat. They spread out. They don't go deeper much. They spread out horizontally like this. This is seen in case of banana tree, in case of rice, in case of wheat, in case of grasses. This is fibrous root. Now, if I ask you guys that other than your taproot and fibrous root, there is one more type of root. Yes, Adya, they grow in branch. What is it? Do you know there is another type of root? Anyone knows? No, not the taproot. There is taproot, there is fibrous root, and there is another type of root that is adventitious root. The word adventitious means something that happens, yes, Kia, something that happens accidentally, something that is random, something which is taking place at a place where it is not supposed to take place. Now, suppose all of us have nose growing hair on top of our face, right? Now, imagine you having a nose here and another nose coming out from the base of your hand or the arms or your legs. That's what is happening in case of certain plants. Certain roots start growing out from different places, from the places from where they are not originally supposed to come out from. Generally, your roots come out from this part. This is a seed. This is plumule, which will become future stem. And this is radical, which will become future roots. The first part to pop out from seed is what? What do you think when the seed germinates? Which part of the plant comes out first? Stems or the roots? Which part? Quickly. Let's see who is quickest. Which part of this plant comes out first from the stem? Very good, Jasleen, Ardhya, Shrehan, Kia, Shubhayan. It is root. It is root. First part to come out of a seed is root. And it comes from this part called radical. Your taproot is formed from the radical itself. But your adventitious roots is not formed from the radical. It takes place at a very random part. One of you gave the example of banyan tree. I think it was Kia. Absolutely correct. These roots start growing out from different places. They can grow on top of the leaves. They can grow in underground stems. They can grow under the base of a stem. They can grow from the nodes of the stem from different parts. But please remember, not all trees have adventitious roots. Only some examples are there which have these adventitious roots. One of them is here, like aerial root, the root which are coming out in the air, which are out in the air. Why do they do it? Now, in case of banyan tree, this picture that you see on your screen, what do you see this? This curtain-like thread-like curtains, which is hanging from the tree, is actually root. Can anyone guess why do banyan trees have these aerial roots, these adventitious roots? Hurry up, put it in the chat box. Kia, correct. To support. To support what? Support the branches. Now, listen, kids, what is wrong with banyan tree? The problem with banyan tree is way too big. It's so huge that its branches are really heavy. So heavy that it cannot even sustain its own weight. If no support is provided at the base of these heavy branches, they will fall off, literally. So in order to support these heavy branches so that they can stay afloat in the air, roots start growing out from the base of the stem and go vertically down and insert themselves into the ground. This is aerial root. Such type of roots can be seen in banyan tree, in rubber tree. You can also find aerial roots in trees like mangrove trees. What happens with mangrove trees? Do you know where they grow? Mangrove trees. Which area do they grow in? So there is an area known as, yes, there is an area known as marshy area near locked water like lakes, like ponds. Next to them, these lakes and ponds is very clay soil. Clay soils have very small particles. They're so close to each other, almost touching each other. Now, you should know that even the roots need to breathe. Even they need oxygen. If the particles of the soil are so close together that they do not even allow the air to pass through in between them, what will happen? The poor roots will suffocate and they will eventually die. So they come out of the soil to breathe, to take in the oxygen from the atmosphere. So these are the roots of mangrove trees, which have literally grown out of the soil because they want to breathe in oxygen. They help the plant in respiration and breathing. They are known as respiratory roots or aerial roots. Is it clear? Any doubt so far? Okay, just a second. Yes, Priyan, please put it in the chat box. Anshika, can you switch on your camera? Everybody, please keep your camera on. Anshika, please switch it on. Priyan, put it in the chat box. All right, moving on. We have functions of the root. One function we did right in the beginning, that it helps us to absorb the water and the mineral. What else? How many of you have seen a plant walking around, running around, taking a jog in the park, or having a race against other plants? None of you, right? Why? Why can't they walk? We are calling plants living things, right? We all know plants are living things. Yet they are fixed in one position. Why? That's because there is something which is keeping them in place. That is the root. Root is keeping the plant in one place, fixed in one place, anchoring the plant to the soil. This is the one job of root, anchoring the plant to the soil, firmly. Otherwise, plants will die because they need to constantly grab water and minerals from the soil so that they are not blown away, they are not destroyed, they are not ruined. Secondly, they help the plant to absorb the water and mineral from the soil. These are the primary function. What is primary function? That means this is something which is being performed by all the roots of all the plants. But there are certain secondary function of the root, which are performed by certain roots of certain types of plants. One is being edible root. What does edible mean? Edible. Aerial roots are the roots which come out in the air, whether it is to help the plant to breathe or to support the plant. Those are aerial roots. Got it, Priyan? Eatable. Something which you can eat is edible. So can I go to any plant in my garden and then pick it out and pluck it out and start eating its root? Can I do that? What will people call me? They'll call me fool, because not all the roots of all the parts of plants are edible. There are only certain plants whose roots are edible and which you can eat. I will talk about these edible roots in a second. Aerial root, we have already talked about it. They either come out to support the plant or to help the plant in breathing. There are plants which will store their extra, just like our moms cook food. What does she do with it? She serves it to you and then rest of the food is kept in the refrigerator. Poor plants do not have a facility like a refrigerator. What they do is whatever extra food they prepare after photosynthesis, whatever they need, they utilize that much and rest of the food is stored away. Generally, plants store food where? Where do you think plants store food, extra food? Which part of the plant? Quickly. Which part of the plant? No, it's not the stem. Generally, it is fruit. Fruit is the part of the plant where the plants store their extra food. That is why fruit is edible to us. But there are plants which will store that extra food in different parts. Sometimes it can be root, sometimes it can be stem, sometimes it can be leaves, sometimes it can be flowers. So when it is being stored in the roots, that's when the root becomes edible. You can eat them, like in case of carrot, radish, beetroot, sweet potato, turnip. These are the roots of plants who have stored their extra food in the roots. So you can eat them. Only these roots, not all. And lastly, your roots also do a very important job. You see, when roots grow inside the soil, they grab the soil particle like this. Keep them tightly in a nice firm position, held together. Now, there are two positions. In picture A, you have no plants and the soil is free. In picture B, you have a plant whose root has grabbed the soil particles tightly like this. Now, suppose, God forbid, there is an earthquake or there is a heavy rainfall. What will happen? The whole thing will shake. Where do you think soil will erode away faster? In here, picture A, or in here, in picture B? Where will soil erode away faster? In picture A, where there is no plant and the soil particles are free, or in picture B, where the soil particles are being held together by the roots of the plant firmly? Where will the soil erode first? Erosion, you guys know, it will be removed. Which is easier to remove? Something which is shaking badly or something which is being held together tightly? I am keeping my mobile phone here. If I'm shaking it, where will it fall easily? Here or here? Obviously here, where it is not being held together by something. The soil will be eroded away faster in scenario A, because there is nothing which is holding it back. It is not being tightly grabbed by the roots. So your roots, your plants are also helping in conserving the soil. You don't want to lose soil. In your next classes and your different classes, you'll know that soil is also a resource. It's a natural resource. You don't want to lose it. You want to conserve it. Or plants are helping you in conserving it naturally. Priyan, can you write your query in the chat box, bache? Now, your roots do go under modification. They change their form, their shape according to the need. When they want to store the food, they undergo this modification for storage of food. They want to support the plant, modification for mechanical support. They want to help the plant to breathe, modification for respiration. Now we've already done the modification for storage of food. You don't need to remember the names of these, like conical or fusiform or napiform or tuberous. What you need to know, these are all tap roots, where the extra food is stored in the form of starch in the roots. Here is an example of carrot, which is broader on the top, narrower at the bottom. It is tapering. Here is an example of radish, which is tapering on both the ends and broader in the middle. This is turnip, fusiform, napiform, where you have a broader, really broad structure at the bottom, at the top, and it is simply tapering down. And tuberous, which has no regular structure in case of sweet dahlias. So these are the taproots which are modified themselves so that the plants can store food inside. Now you know the taproots example already. You have carrot, you have radish, you have turnip, you have dahlias. Similarly, fibrous root also will store food for some plants. For example, in case of sweet potato, in case of asparagus, in case of ipecac, it's a medicinal plant which basically help us in getting the medicine. Mango ginger and bitter gourd. Just need to know some examples. I've given you example for fibrous root. You have sweet potato, you have ipecac, you have mango ginger, you have bitter gourd, you have asparagus. When they want to support, help the plant in breathing, this is how it comes out. You can also call them respiratory root. You can call them breathing root. And if you're really into science and want to learn some fancy word, you can call them nematophores. What happens is, they are growing in marshy area where the soil is clay. There is no way that air can enter the soil. So the roots come out of the soil to help the plant in breathing. They are breathing roots. Example is mangrove tree. Clear? Any doubt? Lastly, then plant roots which are helping the plant in supporting them. We have done banyan root, where the roots were growing from the base of the branch. Then we have another tree, which is another plant, which is sugarcane plant. The problem with sugarcane plant, guys, is it grows really tall. Now, if something is really tall, what will happen? Suppose I have a pen with me here. And if I am not holding it right, it is just like this. If it is too tall, what will happen? It will jingle. It will topple and eventually fall off, which sugarcane doesn't want. So while growing, from its sides, from the nodes of its stems, the roots will start growing out and go towards the soil. That way, it will provide extra support to the plant so that it is stable, so that it doesn't fall. These type of roots are called stilt root. Stilt roots. So that your sugarcane will not fall off, even though it is growing so tall. It is another way how roots are helping the plant to stay stable and do not fall off, supporting the plant. Clear? If it is clear, show me a thumbs up. Yes. Moving on, buttress root. You also have another type of root which also helps the plant in supporting. Here you can see in rainforest area. In the rainforest area, what is the problem? The problem is there is excess of everything, absolutely everything. You get too much water, too much rainfall, too much sunlight. So when there is too much of everything, what happens? Too much competition. When there is enough water, enough sunlight, lots of plants start growing out. And since they all are growing with each other, they start competing with each other. Each plant, each tree will try to grow taller than the other. When such huge tall trees are growing in an area, their roots are not that deep. What will happen? The same thing like sugarcane, it will fall, which they don't want. So the roots come out aerially and spread out. And they're very thick, truncated root, as you can see in the picture also. They're very thick. See how thick it is. And they come out and they spread out. And sometimes they meet with the roots of other trees also. And together they support the trees so that they don't fall off. Such type of roots can be seen in the rainforest areas, the trees of rainforest, buttress root. Next, you have your stem. Now, what is the job of the stems? What do they do? Why are they so important? What are they doing that roots are not doing? Roots are grabbing water and minerals from the soil. They're anchoring the plant to the soil. Why are stems so important? Quickly. Photosynthesis. Shreya, yes, they do perform photosynthesis, but not in all the plants. In some. Justly, not all plants perform photosynthesis in stems. Only some. Shubhayan, in some plants only, the stems store the food. Exactly, Adhya. The first and foremost function of stem is to hold all the parts of the plant. Where do you think your leaves, flowers, and fruits are growing out from? From the stems only, right? This is the part of the plant which is holding everything together, keeping everything together. Your stems have leaves, flowers, fruits, everything on top of it growing together. It is keeping the plant upright. If your stem is not strong enough, what will happen? Then plant will droop down. You see, we have different types of plants which have been classified according to their stems. Herbs. What are herbs, guys? Herbs. Herbs. What type of plant are they? What type of plant are herbs? Small plants, correct. Herbs are not exactly bushes, but herbs are the plants which have green, delicate stems. They are not that weak that they cannot hold the weight of the plant, but they are still weaker than shrubs. Shrubs have bushy stems, thin, hard stems. Herbs have green stems, like in case of your grass, mint, they are herbs. And now there are two types of plants, climbers and creepers. Climbers which grow along a structure like a wall or another tree, creepers which grow along the ground. They have very weak stems. They cannot hold their own weight. They cannot do that. That is why they take support from other structures. They are climbers and creepers. Now guys, my question, why can't creepers grow along the same ground like climber? Why do they have to grow along the ground? Why can't they simply grow along the wall like climbers are growing? What is the problem? What is stopping them? Quickly. Why do creepers? Yes, Shrehan, correct. Because of their stem is weak. So it's, yes, Priya, very good. Heavy what? Very good, Kartika. Because they have heavy fruits. As you can see in this picture, you have watermelon, pumpkin. These are all creepers. They have very heavy fruit. Yes, Shubhayan. So they cannot grow along the wall. They have to grow along the ground so that they can hold the weight of the fruit. Now, your stems are helping the plant in supporting the leaves, flowers, fruit. They are also the one which is acting as transport system. Suppose you are ordering something from Amazon. So someone comes in and brings your stuff from the courier, right? A courier guy, delivery guy comes in and brings your stuff. So what is this? This is transportation of goods from one place to another place. Similarly, when water and minerals are absorbed from the soil by the roots, they are taken up by the stems all the way up to all the parts of the plant. And in return, it will bring back whatever food has been prepared by the leaves back to the root. This is the job of the stem. They are performing these functions. Clear? Any doubt? Okay. Correct. Let's move on and talk about leaves. Your leaves are the food factory. They are the one which will prepare the food for the plant. How do they do it? They do it because they have something called chlorophyll. Have you ever wondered why are leaves so green? That is because they have this green color pigment in them called chlorophyll. This chlorophyll, what happens is as soon as sunlight falls on it, it traps it and allows the plant to use that sunlight to prepare food in the presence of water, carbon dioxide, and your sunlight. They will prepare their food. So in order to grab more and more food, where do you think more and more sunlight, where do you think chlorophyll should be more? Here or here? On the top surface or on the bottom surface? Where? If the chlorophyll's job is to trap more and more sunlight, where should be more chlorophyll? On the top surface or bottom? Very good, everybody. Top surface, so that it can grab more sunlight. So your top surface has more chlorophyll, top surface of the leaf, and bottom surface has more stomata, the nostril of the leaves. There are plants which do not have green leaves. Example, maple trees, croton plants. They have reddish leaves, but yet they are capable of producing food. How? That is because other than chlorophyll, there are different coloring pigment which are present in their leaves. That is why their leaf is not green but reddish in color. But that doesn't mean they do not perform photosynthesis. They do perform photosynthesis. It's just that their pigment in their leaves has something extra which gives them the color reddish. So for example, you have plant like cacti. Some of you wrote in the job of stems that they produce food. You see, cacti do not have leaves. They have spines. So spines cannot perform photosynthesis. In case of cacti, where do you think food will be prepared? Have you seen a cacti? Yes? Yes, Adya. Cacti produce food in stems, guys. The stems are green in color. Their chlorophyll is present in their stems. Very good, Adya. So, the stems produce food in case of cacti or cactus. But there are plants who neither have green stems nor green leaves, like mushroom. They cannot prepare their own food. They depend on dead and decaying plants and animals for their nutrition. What they do is they release a chemical, decompose a dead plant or a dead tissue or a dead animal, whatever is nearby, convert it into simpler substance, and like a sponge, rasp it all up, suck it all up. That is how it gets its nutrition. They are not plant because they are not capable of producing their own food. Mushrooms. Clear? Now, how will I know that my plant is doing the job of photosynthesis? How would I know whether or not it has prepared the food? For that, I will perform a simple test. You can see on your screen, I've shown you what is all required. First, you need to understand there is a chemical called iodine, which is actually reddish brown in color. When reddish brown colored iodine is met, you put it on top of starch, the color of iodine changes to bluish black. Only in the presence of starch. You know what is starch? Starch is a type of glucose. When plants produce food, they produce it in the form of glucose. When multiple glucose chain together, they form starch. So we have to find out whether my plant is producing food or not, whether or not it has starch. Yes, it is the stored food, correct. So to check that, I will take iodine, which has the ability to change its color from reddish brown to bluish black once it meets the starch. So I will take all these things, a plant, a beaker, a saucepan, an iodine solution, tweezer, and ethyl alcohol. What I'll do is simply in a beaker, I'll take ethyl alcohol. Because I cannot directly heat the ethyl alcohol, I'll put it in a saucepan and then heat the sauce. Then I'll take leaves of a green plant, put them in boiling water, and then put it in the ethyl alcohol. After washing away everything, I will add iodine to it. If the solution color changes from reddish brown to bluish black, that shows that this particular leaf had starch in it. What does it prove? It proves that this leaf was performing photosynthesis. Because the starch can only be present if the leaf was performing photosynthesis. Had there been no photosynthesis, there would not have been any starch. So in order to prove that your leaves are performing photosynthesis, we perform iodine test. Now, clear? Clear, guys? This is what it will change into. The green color leaves in the presence of iodine will turn into bluish black. Now, if it is all clear to you and as everybody is raising up their hand, let's go to this small quiz that I have prepared for you guys. Here it is. Try solving this. Send in your answer in the chat box. 1, 2, 3 for question number 1. For question number 2, it's 1 and 2. So I have three types of leaves. One are regular green leaves. Another one are the leaves with black cloth. I have put black cloth on top of it. And the third leaves, I have tied a polythene around my leaves with a carbon dioxide absorbent in it, so that they cannot absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Which leaf will show positive iodine test? Leaves with black strip in the middle, leaves with carbon dioxide absorbent, or regular green? Which one will show positive test? Now you need to understand. The positive test means very good Kia. Very good Adhya, Shubhayan, Kartika, Prayan, everyone. Good. Positive test means that there is starch present. And starch can only be present when there is photosynthesis. Now, in case of leaves with cotton cloth, black cloth, they will not be able to absorb sunlight. In case of leaves with carbon dioxide absorbent, they will not be able to absorb carbon dioxide. You need these ingredients to perform photosynthesis. So only the regular green leaf will show positive iodine test. Question number 2. You have two plants, X and Y. Both don't have leaves, but X can make its own food in the stems, whereas Y has to depend on other plants and animals for nutrition. Which one is correct? So I have people answering it in the chat box. Shubhayan, Adhya, Kartika. All of you are absolutely correct. Prayan, Shrihan. It is 1. X is a cacti here and Y is a mushroom. You see, X is more than capable of producing its own food in stems. Here you can see cacti's green stem. Green chlorophyll is present in the stems. It can perform photosynthesis. Mushroom has neither green stems nor green leaves. So it can only depend on other plants and animals for its nutrition. Any doubt, guys? Everything clear? All right. How was the session? Good? Put it in the chat box quickly. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now we'll be meeting on 7th of June. We'll start the session from 7th of June. We'll have just 40 classes. We'll have lots to cover. So I'll see you guys on 7th of June from 3:45 p.m. All right? Okay. See you all on Wednesday, 7th June. Bye-bye.